All right, Shalom. Kahalayim La Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, which is the Paleo Hebrew for the one true name of the Heavenly Father being Yahweh, and that of the Messiah whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus being Yahweh Shai. Those are the only names given among man whereby you may be saved, point blank period, man. All right, the letter J wasn't even derived until the 16th century, so that clearly could not have been his name, right? Being that name that the world speaks being Jesus, right? Hey, that's not his name, man. All right, there's only one name, as it is written in Acts 4 and 12. And the elect will find that, along with all the things needful for salvation, man, to the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, which is why I'd like to continue by giving double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Square Millstone, and a sincere peace, love, blessings, salutations unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect, doing the best to make the calling of your election sure. Lord willing, to edify, man. As you see, I got a definition pulled up in the background, which is the definition for the word church, which goes into ekklēsia.
Strong's G, 1577, ekklēsia. Ekklēsia.
Which has the meaning, it says a derivative of G2564, a calling out, a popular meeting, especially a religious congregation. You see? And when we go into break it down a little further, it's going to tell us, and the number sequence it gives you for each definition, right? It gives us that because some words have the same meaning, right? Some words have similar meanings. It's been just been translated by someone to try to give us their interpretation of how it would be most closest translated to that original language, man. All right, so this ain't no regular dictionary. It's the biblical dictionary, man, the Strong's Concordance. All right, to help understand the words and their actual meaning and context, right? It says, a gathering of citizens called out from their homes into some public place and assembly. So people think that these churches are all these, specific locations, these specific buildings, but really all those are just four walls and a roof, man. You see, at the end of the day, hey, we make up the church, right? In fact, we make up the third temple, which I'll grab that here shortly. But going on, it says, an assembly of people convened at a public place of the council for the purpose of deliberating. The assembly of Israelites. Look at that, man. The assembly of Israelites. So you see, the churches, the word church goes into really the camp, right? An assembly of Israelites going out to a public place to proclaim the truth, man. All right, a public assembly where anybody could walk up and hear or forbear. You see, Yahweh Shai didn't have a specific place he went and taught in. Yeah, sure, there were synagogues he rolled in, but that's because that's where Jake was, man. All right, but anyway, let me go ahead and grab that precept which I was speaking of. It's 1 Peter chapter 2. Verse 5, it says, ye also are lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, and a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So again, we make up the church, man. We make up the temple. You see, we are that the body, all right, and we are the church, man. You see, so contrary to popular belief, Esau would have you believe that churches, these modern churches, are where you need to be, but really those are just, again, nothing but four walls, man. And if the blind lead the blind, they both shall fall into a ditch. It's the book of Acts. Well, let me grab this real quick since I said that. Matthew chapter 15. And 14. It says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, they both shall fall into a ditch. you go. So you're just being false led, man. You're being led to your own destruction, your own demise, if you will. Let me go ahead and grab jump to the book of Acts. This is the book of Acts, chapter 7, if I'm not mistaken, and verse 48, which reads, "Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands." So the Most High doesn't dwell in no specific temple, man. This is as saith the prophet. This is, heaven is my throne and earth is my footstool. Right? This is what was written, man. Select you. What house will ye build me, saith the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? So he's saying, what house are you gonna build me, man? The heavens is mine. The earth is mine. The earth is my footstool, man. Not even the main seat. You kick your feet up on that thing. You see? The Heavenly Father is the he's just too big, man. You ain't gonna find him in the churches, but you're gonna find him within us, man. Because you're gonna find the Spirit within us. You're gonna find Yahweh Shai, the cloak and covering of Yahweh Shai within us, man. You see? So again, man, all right, oh shit. Let's see, this book of Proverbs, chapter 1. I'll get to the point, verse 20. It says, "Wisdom crieth out without; she uttereth her voice in the streets." So that's where you're going to find wisdom, man. You ain't going to find it in these, church buildings, especially these watered down plantation Christian churches, right? It says on the streets, man. "She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates, in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, How long will ye simple ones love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning? And the fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit upon you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded." Right? So the word's going out, man. And it's not going out at these churches. Right? It's going out at the highways and the hedges. That way everybody gets a chance to hear it. This is Luke chapter 15. Luke chapter 14. And verse 18. And it says, "And they all with one consent began to make excuse," right? So the calling went out, and then what happened was people started making excuses, man, as to why, they weren't able to serve the Lord, as to why they weren't able to do what is required of them as a man. It says, "The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs to go see it. I pray thee, have me excused. And the other said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, therefore I cannot come." So, there's going to be all these excuses, man, not to take part in the church, not to do what you have to do as a man, which again, we know Ecclesiastes tell us that the whole duty of man is to serve the Lord with fear and trembling, man. All right, so right, so we know what we're required to do, right? As we read earlier, right? We're a spiritual house to offer up spiritual sacrifices. What are those spiritual sacrifices, man? That's you exercising the Spirit in this truth, right? That's you giving up all these different things to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We've basically made ourselves a sacrifice because we saw and have received the mercies of Yahweh Shai, man. Going on, it says, verse 21, it says, "So that servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being very angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. You see that, man? In the streets of the city, because that's where you're going to get a variety of people, man. You're gonna basically, you're casting that net, like the scriptures say, that the kingdom of heaven is like a fisherman casting a net and pulling in all sorts of different varieties of fish, man. Throwing back the ones that that we know he doesn't need for destruction, and the other ones that he does need to be saved. See, so we're just casting the net. That's all it is. Kind of, what did it say? That again, going to the streets and the lanes of the city. What does he refer to them as? Basically damaged, man. Maimed, bloodied, broken. Matching what you'd see on the next chapter 15 of the book of Luke, the prodigal son, man. Right? We fell off. We've been conquered. Job 9:24, the earth's been given into the hand of the wicked. He's covered the faces of the judges. The true judges of this earth have been covered, man. We have the Bible to use to establish that judgment, but what's been done? It's been thrown behind us. We've been told the laws are done away with, leaving the moral conduct code of the Bible open up to interpretation according to whatever your pastor wants to say. When again, we have the laws written, so we know the mind of the Most High. We know how to conduct ourselves. Right? So really, he's destroyed us, man. He's completely and utterly destroyed us, making us appear as those, right, bringing hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. That's us. Again, main point, where are you going to find it? Highways and the hedges. Let's go on that. So with that being said, man, we'll go ahead and close it up. Call Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Kakadash, double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS, great millstone, and a sincere peace, love, blessings, salutations unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there doing the best to make the calling of your election sure. Shalom wa abad babal.